Climate activists have condemned oil exporters for urging countries to refuse any international agreement that would see fossil fuels completely phased out. Reports say OPEC's Secretary General wrote to members and allies asking them to prevent such a deal at the UN climate conference in Dubai.
What do we want? Phase out! When do we want it?
Now!
What do we want?
Phase out!
When do we want it?
These demonstrators are protesting against the leaked OPEC message urging countries to block any text targeting fossil fuels.
We're here at the OPEC.
Many of the COP28 negotiators are concerned about the lack of progress and resistance of OPEC members.
I don't believe what the OPEC is saying, and we should discuss actually the production of fossil fuels if we want to be serious towards citizens in the planet, if we're going to be able to achieve the 2030 target of emissions. I think OPEC should talk directly to children of this planet.
Activists declared a day of protest at the climate summit. Hundreds also marched in solidarity with Gaza, demanding a permanent ceasefire. As well as climate justice across the globe. A smaller group staged a rare political protest, demanding the release of pro-democracy activists imprisoned in the UAE and Egypt.
There is no freedom of expression in the UAE. There is no freedom of association and assembly. This very small, extremely limited protest within a safe UN zone is historic. These names have never been said out loud in the UAE, and their release has never been publicly demanded in this way.
These demonstrations are an unusual spectacle in the UAE, where freedom of political expression is tightly controlled. The protests have taken place under heavy restrictions, yet offer a rare opportunity to speak out, where the authorities would normally shut them down.
DW's Tim Schauenberg joins us from Dubai. Hello, Tim. Various protests have been held at the conference. Tell us more.
Yeah, today we've seen the biggest protest at this venue at the climate conference in Dubai, United Arab Emirates today. From my own estimates, we've seen hundreds taking the streets of the venue today, asking for more climate justice. We've also heard pro-Palestinian chants. A ceasefire was also asked. These protests are unprecedented, as originally Emirati authorities planned to restrict any protest here at the venue only after human rights activists protest against those restrictions. Peaceful protests were allowed. This morning we have seen other smaller protests for activists, imprisoned activists in Egypt and the UAE. The news agency AP reports that the protesters had to cross messages to the detained persons, and also had to take off their names after the UN gave the order saying allegedly, according to AP, that they could not guarantee for the security of the protesters.
Now, protests are going on because people want something more concrete from the ongoing COP28. There's a lot of negotiations going on. How much progress has been made so far?
Yeah, the streets were very loud today. The political process rather quiet. But we know that in the negotiation rooms there are very emotional discussions being held. And the main topic, the main task, the core task of this conference is the question over the future of fossil fuels. And there are states, among them the United States, EU, but also Germany, almost 100 countries which are in favor of an eventual fossil fuel phase out. Then there are states, mainly oil countries, such as Saudi Arabia and Russia, which would rather like to talk about an emissions reduction. This means they want to keep producing and using coal, oil and gas, and reducing the emissions with a special technology which is called carbon capture and storage. But this is unpractical, very, very expensive at this point, and not scalable. So it's considered rather a distraction strategy. We see, and we expect in the days to come that we will see a showdown on this question, on this hottest topic here. Fossil fuel phase out, yes or no? Or will there be a compromise? The climate conference is always up for surprises. We really don't know what's the outcome going to be, but that's the core question in the center of this conference at the moment.
Okay, Tim Schauenberg, thank you.